I had to bribe the site foreman just to get up here, Dre. I thought maybe, looking down at the world you're building, you'd finally see how small this piece of paper is. This isn't a safeguard, it's an exit ramp. You're asking me to sign a paper that says if our marriage fails, I leave with exactly what I walked in with, while you keep this tower, the firm, and every cent of your family's trust. You're protecting yourself from me, instead of building a life with me.
If a builder waits for the storm to strengthen the glass, the structure falls. This tower will stand for a century because the engineers didn't trust the weather, they trusted the steel. Amara, you see an exit ramp because you are looking at the end. I see a foundation because I am looking at the beginning. This legacy belongs to a bloodline that survived wars and depressions. To merge my life with yours without protecting the integrity of this foundation would be an act of emotional recklessness. I am not protecting myself from you, I am protecting the structure for us.
The structure? I am your fiance, Dre, not a tenant. We live in a world where partnership means sharing everything. If you loved me, you'd be willing to risk it all. That's what romance is, the leap of faith. But you're standing on the edge of the cliff with a parachute and a harness, asking me to jump in my bare feet. If I'm not worth the risk of your legacy, then what am I actually doing here?
You are confusing risk with sacrifice. I will risk my life for you, Amara, but I will not sacrifice the work of 100 years to satisfy a temporary emotional demand. A man who gambles his foundation to prove his love is a man who eventually has no home to offer. If your security is dependent on having a claim to my ancestors' labor, then your focus is on the spoils, not the journey. I don't negotiate with my roots. If you cannot accept a man who has boundaries, you are looking for a servant, not a sovereign.
My father always said a man who keeps his money in one pocket and his wife in the other isn't a man you can rely on. When I told my lawyer about this prenup, he laughed. He said you were treating me like a subcontractor. I've given you my time, my energy, and my network. I've helped you navigate the social circles that get these contracts. And now, you want me to sign a paper that says I'm essentially a guest in your life. Is this your version of sovereignty? Just being an island?
Your father lived in a different era, and his advice led to 3 divorces, Amara. I don't put everything in the center of the table because the table needs legs to stand on. My independence is what makes me capable of supporting you. If I become a we in every legal and financial sense, I lose the ability to be the anchor when the current pulls us. You say you've given me your best years, as if time is a currency you're trading for a payout. That is the language of a transaction, not a covenant.
It is a transaction if you make it one. This paper is the invoice. You're telling me that no matter how much I contribute, I will always be the girl with the cream coat who can be sent away if the steward gets bored. You're asking for my total devotion while you keep your escape pod fueled and ready. How can I build a home with a man who is constantly checking the structural integrity of the exit door?
Because the exit door is only for those who no longer wish to be in the house. If you intend to stay, the door is irrelevant. But by refusing to sign, you are telling me that your commitment is contingent on your ability to dismantle the house if you leave. You are asking for a weapon to hold over my head in exchange for your devotion. I don't negotiate my peace, Amara. I have spent my life becoming a man who does not need anyone, so that when I choose someone, it is a choice of strength, not a choice of lack. If you cannot respect the boundary, you cannot inhabit the space.
You're really going to let me go. For a signature. For a legacy that doesn't even have a face. You're going to stay up there in your glass tower and watch the only woman who truly challenged you drive away because you're too sovereign to be a partner. Is this the quiet strength you're always talking about? Or is it just a very expensive way to be alone?
It is the strength to value my principles more than my comfort. You think you're challenging me, Amara, but you're actually just testing the leash. You wanted to see if I would fold my values to keep your presence. If I did that, I would be a lesser man than the one you fell in love with. I am letting you go because I respect your right to want a different kind of deal. But I will not be the one to sign it.
You're a machine, Dre. You've built a life where nothing can touch you, and you think that makes you a king. It just makes you a statue. I hope the skyscraper keeps you company. I'm going to find someone who isn't afraid to get messy. Someone who doesn't need a legal team to tell him how to love his wife.
The silence is where I find my clarity. The foundation is what allows me to stand while others are swept away. Safe travels, Amara.
Goodbye, Dre. I hope the foundation is worth the silence.
May you find the messiness you're looking for.
A skyscraper is not an insult to the sky. It is a necessity for the city. When a partner views your rational boundaries as a personal attack, they are essentially asking you to weaken the steel, so they can feel more important than the safety of the tower. We are told that true love has no limits and no barriers. This is a lie designed to make you vulnerable to those who wish to consume your resources without respecting your roots. Protecting your legacy is not an act of distrust, it is an act of stewardship. If you cannot say no to a woman you love, then your yes has no value.
I showed Amara the exit door because a man's sovereignty is not up for negotiation. By walking away, I didn't lose a soulmate. I preserved my soul.
One of the old masters wrote, "The sun does not wait for the world to notice it before it shines." My worth is not determined by her agreement to my terms.
Build your tower, guard your light, and never let anyone convince you that your foundation is a prison. Stay disciplined.